certainly hope you're having a great time here at the 65th Annual Ford Boat Sport and Travel Show. Hopefully you've had a lot of fun going back and looking and watching all of the productions that we've put together over these last 2 weekends. Hard to believe we're almost on the verge of the 66th Annual Ford Boat Sport and Travel Show next year. Deer Turkey Waterfowl still has a few hours left to go. Crowds are still big. People are enjoying watching us here at the Travel Cafe, and we're bringing you all kinds of diversity today, from Africa to Canada, associations. But truly what makes the Boat Sport and Travel Show what it is and why people come to the show are the vendors and the people that are here meeting people, selling their goods, talking about destinations and trips. Mark Dixon is with, you guys, Moving Waters Outfitters has a huge presence over in Tackletown.
We do.
You even have a pond.
We do. Yeah, it's a 50-foot pond that enables us to get people in and out of kayaks really easy. In fact, I've been doing hundreds of demonstrations all week long, getting people in and out of kayaks.
Makes it a little easier to talk about kayaks when you got a pool.
Well, it does. It's a huge advantage to us to be able to actually have somebody get in a kayak and feel it. We can talk all we want, and everybody's, hey, I really want to, do you have something back at the shop? Well, now we can say, get in right here, and it's worked out perfectly for us.
So, how many people have gone in the drink?
Zero.
Really?
Zero. Yeah, I had one guy 2 nights ago that was. He was inches away from going in. It was a little touch and go, but he pulled it out. I was actually surprised. Moving Waters Outfitters,
you guys are known for your fly fishing store. You've got a whole bunch of kayaks out here.
We did.
You have travel and destination opportunities. You're kind of the full service shop.
We really are. We also do local guiding, and we got 2 guys in the shop, myself included, that do local guiding. So yeah, we can do it from top to bottom.
When the whole quiet sports, the paddling, the canoeing, the biking, really have grown so much in the last 10 years. The beautiful thing about this show is it's grown along with that.
It has. It's we've noticed that the crowds keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we keep getting busier and busier. Every year we bring a little bit more kayaks, a few more kayaks, a few more options, and people just seem to love it.
Well, kayaks aren't they've come a long way.
Oh, absolutely.
So what's hot? What are you looking at? What are people asking for?
Like specific brands, or
that wouldn't mean anything to me. But
I didn't think so.
Talk about the difference in the kayaks.
Well, kayaking, fishing kayaks have evolved, and that's what we mainly deal in is fishing kayaks. Fishing kayaks have evolved from 40 years ago, 50 years ago, from surfboards. They used to take surfboards out in the ocean, and then they started putting fishing equipment on them. Well, those have kind of evolved into some of the kayaks you see today in our booth. With, you even get pedal drives now and electric drives. You've got rod holders and depth finders and things you wouldn't even have thought of back then. They're putting them in them, and even in the last 10 years, just in the seating, you've got seats that are more comfortable than what we're sitting in right now, or as comfortable. So
elevated a little bit.
And even they are multi seat, multi elevations. So you can go low, medium, and high. High back seats, lumbar adjustments. We've got them over there that have air inflatable lumbar right behind the back.
Next thing you know, you're going to be in a nautique.
Yeah, you can be. And the prices have elevated themselves to a point sometimes where guys are in the between I can get a John boat or I can get a really well equipped kayak. But
I know the answer to this is probably self-evident, but coming out here to talk to the experts like you at Moving Water Outfitters, buying a canoe versus ordering one, how are you interacting to get the right kayak?
Well, the first thing I start with is I ask what kind of fishing they're going to be doing, or what kind of paddling are they going to be doing. Because there's a big difference between what we put in a river or a small creek and what we'd have in a lake. So if somebody was going to be local and be on a big body of water, we're not going to put them in a small boat, in a small kayak that doesn't paddle very well. We're going to put them in something that so they can go a greater distance. In a river, that's not quite as that's not as big of a deal because you're typically floating. When you're fishing, you're just floating down, and so you need something maybe a little bit more maneuverable, and that's where your comfort comes into play, storage, all that kind of stuff for gear.
So why the Boat Sport and Travel Show?
Well, I mean, I think the crowds kind of are your answer. I mean, we get in front of so many people here at the show, and this is the show that keeps on giving throughout the year. I mean, I have people come up to me, in September and say, "Hey, I saw you at the show. You were talking to me about XYZ," and I would say, here's that boat, and we kind of keep going on down that path with that customer. But it, so that's the biggest thing. And the other thing is that this show draws from 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 states. I mean, the entire Midwest. It gets people. So I was just talking to a guy in the booth this morning. He was from the other side of Illinois, almost in Iowa, and he drove here just to see kayaks.
Oh my goodness.
So that's a customer that I can't get in front of unless I come here. So. And what else are you going to be doing in the middle of February? And
it started out, the weather was a little rough today, but
today was awful.
Now it's bright and sunny out, and we're having a great time here in the Travel Cafe. Moving Waters Outfitters is known for its fly fishing.
Yes.
Talk about the fly shop.
Well, we are a full service fly shop. We do guiding. Your travel side, which we do international travel. We do to Chile, we do Bahamas, Mexico, Belize, Brazil. We kind of do all of that. Then we also have a lot of regional trips that we like to do. We like to go to Hayward, Wisconsin to do muskie. We like to go to Michigan and do some steelheading. So it's not all
muskie on a fly rod.
Muskie on a fly rod. Imagine that.
I can't.
Instead of 10,000 casts, it's 20,000 casts.
Yeah.
Just a
the fish of 10,000
why not make it harder,
casts.
right?
Yeah.
So that's just a travel portion of our business. The fly shop itself, we're full service. So we've got fly tying equipment, we've got fly tying classes, fly fishing classes. We do seminars. In fact, this next weekend we've got Kevin Feenstra coming in from Michigan. He's going to be doing a fly tying class, and then doing a presentation on the seasons of Michigan. And some of the rivers he's fished. So that's, it encompasses everything.
We talk on Indiana Outdoors regularly, my radio show, and one of the topics that continues to come up is, there's a perception that it's a rich person's sport.
Yeah.
How do you overcome that?
It just getting in front of people. You have to have a lot of outreach. Because there is that perception that it's a rich guy's sport, and it's that it's unattainable for a lot of people. But I'll tell you what, after walking through Tackletown and seeing some of the baits and some of the things that those guys are buying, it's not that's a rich man's sport. In fact, somebody the other day told me that there's some lure out there that's over $400. And he said,
do you guys know about that?
There's somebody that can't keep it in stock. I mean, I don't know what it is, some swim bait thing, but I'm a fly guy, so I don't know. So if anyone ever says that it's a rich guy sport, bass guys are that's a rich guy sport.
So you can get into fly fishing, roughly you say, for everything that you need to basic fly fishing for a couple $100.
$200, yeah. We've got kits that start at like $129, $159, something like that, and that gets you out catching all the fish you can. So,
what I've always said about fly fishing is you don't fly fish in ugly places usually.
No.
It's like golf.
No, exactly. Yep. There's some.
And some of those
awesome
destinations that you talk about, really bucket list places.
Yeah, they're. You're absolutely right. I'm just, in my mind, while I paused there, I was just thinking of all the places that I've just, I've got pictures on, thousands of pictures on my phones that I just flipped through, and people are like, oh, where was that? Where was that? Where was that? And I've gotten, I don't want to say jaded, but I've gotten really, I forget how fortunate I've been to be able to travel to all these places, because I do bucket lists, trips,
as your job
every year, and so I have to kind of remind myself how lucky I am.
Favorite place?
My favorite place is probably Chile. It's not so much about the fishing is fantastic there. Don't get me wrong, but Chile has a well, the wind's blowing over there. Chile is very special. The people make it special. The scenery makes it special. You know, you can go anywhere and catch brown trout. I mean, we can go to Montana and catch brown trout. We can go to Michigan. We can go to Arkansas. There's lots of places to catch brown trout, but it's the whole package when you go to Chile. And there's kind of an evolution of an angler, how they decide what's important in a trip. You know, and they kind of start with that numbers game. I want to go to Canada and I want to catch 1 million walleye or whatever it happens to be. And then we have the trout guy that does the same thing. But as you start to travel, you start to appreciate the different things about every trip. So while you say there's what's my favorite, they're all my favorite for a different reason.
It's a trick question I ask everybody.
Okay, well, good. So you suckered me in.
You don't have to just, fly fishing isn't just for trout. You know,
No.
I've heard you talk about muskie and a walleye, but you know, there's probably nothing better than trying to catch a bass or a big old slab crappie.
You're right. And in fact, I've got some in our booth. I've got some, from our guide page, from our guide service this last year. I printed out a bunch of big pictures, and everybody that walks by and looks at those pictures, and they're like, "Hey, where's that? Hey, where's that? Hey, where's that?" And I'm like, 45 minutes from here. You know, that one's 20 minutes from here. I don't think people realize what a great fishery, smallmouth fishery specifically, in Indiana we have.
Yeah.
It's really unbelievable. And in fact, it wouldn't surprise me if the new state record comes from a local water here. Yeah, there's some massive fish there. So,
what haven't I asked you about? Either moving water or kayaks, your fly shop that you want people to know or you like to tell people about?
Well, I want to tell people that just to get
besides stop by your booth.
Or
come into the shop.
Come by the shop. I would say if you're not following us on Facebook and following myself and our other guides online, we do that, and then come out and see us at some of our demo days. We do demo days. And the best way to keep in touch with us is Facebook, Moving Water Outfitter. I think it may be MDO, at Moving Water Outfitters. And then I'm at Mark Dixon Guide. I do a lot of Instagram and stuff.
I follow you.
Showing people, just fish that we catch and kind of giving trip reports and stuff. So if you follow us both on those things, that's the best way to keep in touch with us, and that gets you into the classes, all of that good stuff.
We couldn't have probably ended our 2 weeks out here, 2 weekends of Indy Sports Show Live with a better promotion than saying check us out on Facebook, as you heard, Moving Waters. So we're going to end our run here at the 65th Annual Ford Boat Sport and Travel Show. We're going to miss the Travel Cafe. We're going to miss all the people that were stopping by and enjoying what we've been able to produce, but I bet we'll be back next year for the 66th annual, the 23rd annual Deer Turkey Waterfowl, 66th annual Boat Sport and Travel Show. I am Brian Pointer. I may not be back. Who knows? Kevin may fire me. But either way, it is the Indy Sports Show Live, and I am your host, at least this year. We'll see you hopefully next year.